As for the world, everything is quite amusing. The appearance of the penis before the people is imminent. This will happen in Armenia. Pashinyan, the Prime Minister of Armenia, suggested showing his penis to the Catholicos, who is the Armenian patriarch, the Armenian religious leader. He justifies this by saying that the church claimed Pashinyan is circumcised. And Pashinyan is ready to provide proof that this is not the case. In short, the appearance of Pashinyan's penis is anticipated, and Armenia is frozen in anticipation. All in all, something unprecedented is expected. For the first time in the country's history, the Prime Minister will voluntarily place his member in the hands of the Catholicos and leave it there long enough for His Holiness to examine the organ in every detail. This procedure, most likely, will not be brief. Grigory II, the Catholicos also known as Khtrik Grigorich Nersisianis, generally speaking, weak-sighted, but at the same time devilishly curious. Therefore, the exploration of the Prime Minister's member will likely be less visual and more probably tactile. And here, it is very important for Khtrik not to get carried away, to maintain the composure that his rank, after all, obliges him to uphold. And considering that the Armenian Gundiev is about as much of a scoundrel as the Russian Gundiev, the likelihood that the sacrament of the Prime Minister's member exploration will remain within the bounds of decency is rather low. And for Pashinyan to preserve his chastity, he will have to fight to the death with Khtrik Grigorian II, whom he publicly calls a debauchee and a usurer. And the scene, in terms of its epic scale, could certainly overshadow the great Armenian epic, David of Sasson, and all other Armenian heroics as well. The progressive public, of course, wants to know everything, as always and everywhere. And that's why they insist on a live television broadcast of this fateful examination. In short, for this reason, or perhaps another, chaos has erupted in Armenia. Everyone, however, is convinced that it is precisely for this reason, and Pashinyan's penis, like a mace, like a battering ram, is smashing the local church. Well, it's hard to say exactly how this penis operates, whether it's by agreement with its owner or if it's acting on its own initiative. In general, it's absolutely impossible to make sense of Pashinyan's conflict with the local church. And I don't recommend you try to do it, because you'll quickly lose your mind, drowning in unpronounceable surnames and insane titles. Basically, to sum up, crumpled mitres are flying through the back alleys, torn sacos everywhere, and everyone is bashing each other over the head with 1-liter chalices. Special forces and sunshine near, marvelous delirium. But do you really need to know that Bishop Adzapachian tore out the beard of another bishop with a similarly complicated surname, root and all, and was sent under arrest with tufts of that beard still in his hands? But honestly, it's sheer idiocy to suspect Pashinyan of being unchristian based on the condition of his male organ. The interesting thing is, circumcision is actually quite common among many Christians, even in the present day. If I am not mistaken, in the Coptic and Ethiopian Orthodox Christian churches, both ancient and venerable Christian denominations, it is still considered an obligatory ritual. Strictly speaking, in the subligaculum case, you were not aware. Those are indeed ancient Roman undergarments. In Jesus Josephovich's subligaculum, things were probably not very orthodox either. He too was circumcised very thoroughly and deliberately. Though I don't know if he actually wore a subligaculum, those ancient Roman underwear, or if that Roman fashion had spread to Judea at that time.